Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. I am your host, June Archer. This is the Winner Circle, and today, my guest, star of Moonhaven, he is, we'll just call him Mr. Friendship Onion himself, Dominic Monaghan. How are you doing, Dominic?
How's it going, June? Very well, thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us. I am excited about this movie, Moonhaven, the series. And for you, how did it feel to step foot on the moon in this series, to get away from the crazy that we know that we call planet Earth?
Yeah, it was great, man. I mean, look, we've all gone through very challenging times over the last few years with COVID, and I didn't work anywhere near as much as I normally do, or as much as I would have liked to. So this felt like an amazing sanctuary. We flew over to Ireland. We were in a pretty significant little bubble where we couldn't, do anything apart from go to work. There was no kind of social aspect. So to be, excuse me, in a very nurturing bubble, both offset and then onset on the moon was a great experience. And I jumped into it with both feet.
What is to be learned from this series, Dominic? I know that through this pandemic, we've been through so much. Darkness, as the show says, always seems to find a way. We're trying to figure out how we survive. We're trying to fight climate change. Do we get a sense of how we solve us and fix us through this series?
I think one of the abiding messages of Moonhaven, certainly if you're just taking season one, and not necessarily thinking about us moving forward into season 2 and season 3, if we're lucky enough to do that, is the message from Peter that he gave us last night before the screening and seems to run through the first season of the show, is that there's a strong chance that the future could be better, that humans will figure it out, that we should give each other the benefit of the doubt, and we should expect that we will try our best and figure it out. I think there's a lot of cynicism and there's a lot of kind of apathy that we've kind of blown it, and there's no point in trying to save the world because it's kind of done. And I think the way to get out of that initially is to change our mindset, to have a mindset of, we can figure this out, we are smart enough, and we should kind of have a positive mindset moving forward, because if we don't, it's going to be much more challenging to try and solve those problems.
I agree with you 1,000%. I hope that we do. Would there be any Earthers, if this were to really happen, would there be any Earthers that you would say, we absolutely can't let them into this utopia way of living? Who would you have the door shut on, Dominic?
Oh, that's tough, man. I would say probably Liverpool fans. Not the city. I love the city. I just mean the football team.
Just the football team. Okay.
I'm a naturally very positive person, and I think Peter Ocko is as well, and I think a lot of our cast and crew were as well. It's very challenging for me and very triggering to me to be around people that are naturally negative and naturally cynical. So I think I personally try to avoid being around people that are big on drama and big on negativity. So maybe less negative people on the moon.
For you, people are going through some things, Dominic. From your culture, right? What is the one saying that gives you hope, that inspires and motivates you, that you could share with someone that we may not understand its context, but if you could break it down? I'm Jamaican. There's a lot of Jamaican sayings that I could share. But for you, from your culture, what are some things that are really expressive in terms of being inspired and motivated that you could share with us today?
Excuse me. I don't even know if this is a phrase, but this is certainly a way that I live my life, and it's been very helpful moving forward. I subscribe to just being kind. If you can, you should be kind. If you are exposed to someone who's being unkind, you should expose them to kindness to see if you can change their mindset. If you want to live an easier day, an easier week, an easier life, leaning back on kindness and trying as hard as you can to bring kindness into your particular world, but also to expose people who you meet throughout your day to kindness, I think can have a ripple effect where people then feel like they can be kind to others. And I think we can solve a lot of the big, sophisticated issues that we're going through just by being a little nicer, a little bit more patient, and a little kinder to people.
Dominic, you are part of the live podcast, The Friendship Onion. I want to peel back the onion real quick before I let you go and just ask, what motivates you to continue to do what it is that you do?
I really love Billy Boyd. He's a very special person that lives in my heart, and any opportunity to spend some time with him is fantastic. We make a really fun podcast where we just sit around and make each other laugh. We try and bring inspiring people onto our podcast to talk about how they got to their place in life, with the hope that maybe they can inspire young people to do the same thing. It's an opportunity for Billy and I to travel around the United States and do live podcasts, and also potentially to give someone that hour or hour and a half in their day where maybe something's a little tough to get through, or they're having a rough time. And we can say, for this hour, you can just put the kettle on, make yourself a cup of tea, and sit down and, you know, not think about those things that stress you out so much. So hopefully just a little moment in your day of good humor and brevity, and then you can get on with real life.
I appreciate you, Dominic, for leading with humanity. I hope to have the opportunity to have the Friendship Onion come to my hometown, that I could host it with you and that amazing, funny guy yours. Ladies and gentlemen, that is Dominic Monaghan, Moonhaven, July 7th, AMC Plus. I'm your host, June Archer. This is The Winner Circle. Thank you so much. Dominic, we love you, brother. Keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you, June. Appreciate it.
My man.